Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to take a single field that has multiple part numbers in it and split that field up into individual records in a child table. This is going to be an advanced developer tutorial. We're going to use nested record set loops and the split function with a string array. Lots of cool stuff in this video today for the advanced folks. Today's question comes from Lucas in Minneapolis, Minnesota, one of my gold members. Lucas says, estimators fill out a spreadsheet while they're on the road with a list of job IDs and part numbers. When they send me the spreadsheet, it's got the job number on a row, but then the part numbers are all listed in one field, comma separated. Of course, I have to type these in manually into my database because I've got proper relationships set up. So how can I go about taking those part numbers and splitting them up into individual records in a child table? Yeah, I've been talking to Lucas, and he has no control over these estimators. They work for a different company, so that's the format that they put the stuff in their spreadsheet with, and they send him the spreadsheet that's got hundreds of rows in it, and he wants to take those and split them off into, he's got a job table and a part number table, like a subtable, which he should have, but that's not how he gets the data from his estimators. So how do we fix this? Well, we can use a record set loop to loop through each of the job T records. Then we'll use the split function to pull those numbers out. Since it's comma separated, that's nice. We can easily use the split function. And then we'll use a second record set inside that to loop through and add each of those. So you can see Enterprise D there, for example, will have 4 child records. So we'll define it and Voyage will get 2. And that'll all happen in our record set loop. So as I mentioned at the top of the video, this is a developer level video. This is going to be some advanced developer stuff. So if you're new to programming, if you've never programmed in VBA before, go watch this first, about 20 minutes long. It'll get you started, teach you everything you need to know, and then come on back. You will also need to know how to use the split function. That's where you can take a string and break it up into multiple components based on some delimiter, like a comma. I showed you how to do it before with an address, where you get like the whole address in one string, and you can separate that out into city, state, and zip and such. So go watch this video too. And finally, go watch my record sets video. This is an older one, but it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. I have to re-record this guy. It's a couple of years old. It's only 2 years old. It's not that bad. It actually comes from one of my classes, Access Developer 16, where I cover record sets. So go watch this if you've never used a record set before. A record set is basically a way to loop through the records in a table. So you can say start at job 1, go to job 2, go to job 3, and so on. You can also use them to add records to a table. All right, so go watch this first. These are all free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. You'll find links down below in the description. Go watch those and then come on back. All right, so here I am in my Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can download off my website if you want to, but this will work with any database you want. So I've got a sample job T all set up. This is basically kind of what Lucas gets. He's got a job ID. He's got a description. He's got a bunch of other fields in here, who the sales rep is and the client and blah, blah, blah. All we really care about for this example is this. The part numbers are all in one text field and they're separated by commas. Okay? Now, I just use numbers in mine, but his part numbers have letters in them too. So the part number isn't really a number. Don't you love when people do that? They have like a part number and it's got letters in it. like in the old days when phone numbers had letters in them. But anyways, so we're going to take these, we're going to split these off and put them in a separate table. All right, and I've already got that table built. Here it is right here, job part T, because we'll assume you got a part number table that's got your parts in it, your part table, right? So the job part T will be the junction table between the two in a many-to-many relationship. All right, if you don't know what a junction table is or a many-to-many relationship, you have to go back a class. You have to go back to my expert series, right? Today we're doing developer stuff, so I covered this in the expert series. So go back and watch this. All right, but I don't have a part table in this database, but this would be the junction table, right? We're going to put the job ID here and then the part number here, and that's coming out of here. All right, okay. In fact, let's keep everything the same. I put it in here as part ID number. Let's make this part number and make this short text because I want to keep this exactly the same as this. If you've got a part table that's got a part number and a part ID, which is fine. If you're dealing with other people's part numbers, right, J6241, that's their code. In your database, it might be auto number 62. So it's okay to have both fields in your table. But we're going to peel off this part number and put it down here into this field. All right, let's save all what we got here, close it down, All right, so we got our main menu. Here it is. We've got our job T that's got the part numbers in it. We've got an empty job part T. All right, let's build some code. Now, if you're not familiar with my database, go watch the blank database setup, and I have this thing in here called a status box, which I have a status function. I can click Hello World. If you want to learn how this was built, I'll put a link to it down below as well. I get asked this all the time. Hey, how'd you make the status box? Oh, well, here's a separate video for you. But let's take this guy here and let's just use this to get some information first. Let's loop through those records in the job table, right? Loop through this, loop through this, loop through this. Let's count them up, see how many part numbers are in there, and get some information first. All right, so let's right-click, build event. All right, we're not going to status hello world. What are we going to do? Well, first, let's blank the status box. Status box equals nothing. All right, let's clear it out, just in case there's something in there from a previous run. We need a record set. Dim rs as record set. What are we setting that equal to? Set rs equals current db dot open record set. What are we opening? We're reading this one. We're going to read job T. Okay? We're going to loop through all the records. So while not rs eof, stands for end of file. It goes back to, file handling. Do some stuff. Then go to the next record and end your while loop. I like to put the shell of it first because if I don't, I always forget the rs move next and then I'm stuck in an endless loop. I do that first. Then we close up shop, right? Rs close, set rs equals nothing, and we're good. We could be done right now, hit the button, nothing's going to happen, but that's our proper shell there. Okay, we got the framework of our code in place. All right, in here, let's just message box, or instead of message box, let's status what each record is, right? So we're going to status, and we're going to say, record and rs description, just like that. Okay, show me what the description, because that's the field, right? Rs description, this guy. Just show me each one of these guys. Okay, save it. Let's throw a quick debug compile in there just to make sure all our code is good. And it is. Of course it is. I wrote it. Right? All right, close it up. Open it back up again. Hit the button. Bink. There's 3 records. Voyager, Defiant, Enterprise. Remember, these come in backwards, right? And unless you put a sort in here, like a select with a sort, you can't control what order they come in. Generally, they come in the order that they exist in the table, but not always. Don't rely on that. Okay, so now in this table, I also have a part number field that I want to split up based on that comma. So I'm going to use an array just like we did in the other video. Okay, let's dim a part array as a string. I've created an array of strings. How many items are in it? Oh, I don't know. Could be 0, could be 1,000. It's an open-ended array. And I just realized I don't have a tech help video about arrays. I'll have to make one. But I do cover them in detail in Access Developer 21. But now that we have an array set up, I can say right here, I can say part array equals split what field? rs part numbers, comma, by a comma. So inside of quotes, put a comma. That's going to take the rs part numbers, the part numbers field of the current record that we're on, and run it through the split function, splitting it on the comma. Okay? All right. Now, it doesn't do anything with them at this point. Let's take a look and see how many items are in that array at this point. So let me put the status below that. Okay? And I'm going to say, and how do we tell how many items are in an array? We use the ubound function. All right? So it's ubound part array. Then you got to add 1 to it because it's 0 based. So if there's 1 item in it, it'll return a 0. All right, save it, run it, boom, 442, which should be correct. Now, this always brings up you got to think about if your people that are using the database are going to break things. If you do have something with no part numbers in it and you try to run this, invalid use of null. All right, because you can't run that on that because it's null. So we'll do a little check right here. If is null, let's say if not is null, rs part numbers, then it's okay to do this stuff. Otherwise, do this stuff because you're not going to do anything if there's nothing in there anyways, right? You could show the record and just show none if you want to. It's up to you. But now we get past the error. Always got to think about those pesky users. They're always trying to break stuff. You always got to try and put yourself in their head. What kind of dumb things can your users do to mess up your database? You always want to try to avoid throwing errors if possible. Because remember, you throw an error, all your global variables get reset. So that's never a good thing. So either handle the error yourself or put some error handling in there. Got whole lessons on error handling too. All right, so where are we at? We've looped through each of the records, and we know we've got the part numbers split into an array. So now I want a second record set so that I could write each one of those items off to that job part table, right? This guy. So for each one of those, we're going to loop through and write them out as records. All right, so we're going to need a second record set, rs2 as record set. You could do rs in and rs out, or rs and rs2, whatever. They're your Legos. Put them together however you want. We're also going to need a loop variable, so x as a long. X is my go-to, right? We're going to need a second record set declaration, so set rs2 equals open up, what is it, job part t, right? One to read, one to write. Okay, in here, we're going to split our guys up into the part array. You can still display it if you want to, right? And then now here, we're going to loop through each of those items and write them out to the table. And what does that look like? Well, we'll use a for loop. For x equals 0, remember arrays are 0 bound, 0 to u bound part array. And, I forgot my 2. Okay, and then next. And what goes in the candy center here? Well, rs2 dot add new. rs2 job ID equals rs job ID, right? Set it to the same job ID. rs2 part number. You don't always get the little the camel casing with record set elements. Sometimes it sees it, sometimes it doesn't. Equals part array x. Then what do? We update the record. rs2.update. That's it. That adds the new record. You could do this with an SQL insert statement if you prefer. Record set's actually a tiny bit faster, but for this, it's not. I mean, unless you're doing hundreds of thousands of records, you're not going to notice a difference. Okay, then this finishes up. The next record goes. Now we got to close up shop. rs2.close and set rs2 equals nothing. Nothing? What's a... Come on. Nothing. There. Ugh. Sorry, folks. It's tired. It's tired as yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long day. I've been playing with OpenAI chat integration and trying to get that to work with Access, and I've got some great results. You guys are gonna love this when I'm finished with it. You can integrate it into your Access database. So if you're writing out a letter, if you're using it as a contact manager like I do, right? I write all my customer service emails in my Access database. Hit one button, it'll send it out to ChatGPT and bring it back with corrected text. That's gonna be pretty cool. And then I'm going to integrate that into my website too. Anyways, back to this. Here we should be done. That's all, right? Close it, open it, click the button. Let's see what we got. Here's our job table. Here's our job part table. Oh, look at that. Ah! And the crowd goes wild. Right, but there you go. There's job 1. Item. Job 2. Item. Yeah, I mean, you could trim these too, because like some of these I intentionally didn't put spaces between them. So yeah, you might want to throw a trim in there too. Here, let's clear these out. Let's put a trim in here, right there. Trim, or you could trim them as they go into the air, whatever, however you want to do it. They're your Legos. But this is going to save you some time and effort. There you go. And now, of course, you know, if these are actual numbers, you could then convert them back over to a number field. However you want to handle it, it's up to you. Now, if you love this stuff like I do, I love record sets. When I first discovered record sets years ago, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because I started off as a basic programmer back in 1980. And so my brain thinks in loops. It took me a long time. I was probably using Access for a good 10 years before I really learned SQL. So anything I had to do, I did it with a record set. I just loop through the records and handle them like I just showed you in code with for loops and stuff. SQL is more powerful for simple things that you can put in SQL, but record sets are much more powerful if you have to like look at each record and analyze it and do different things and create child records and all that stuff. So if you really want to learn record sets, I covered them in Access Developer 16, 17, 18. I've got tons and tons of record set lessons. In this one, for example, I show you how to use a multi-select list box, which is where you have a list box and you can pick multiple items. We save those items to the table, load them back in, that kind of stuff. It's one of the only ways you can use multi-select list boxes. So that's in Developer 16. You'll find a link to that down below. And there you go. That's going to be your tech help video for today. No extended cut today. Members, you guys have been spoiled. So there's not much more I can do with this one. I already just gave you all the goods, right? But if you could think of anything else you want to see with this kind of stuff. I had one other member ask me a very similar question. I might do a separate video on that. Same kind of technique, but we're not going to use the split function. I mean, we could. He gets emailed lists of email addresses, and he wants to be able to split those up into separate records too. I might do a separate video on that one next week. If you guys want to see that, let me know. There you go. I hope that saves you some time, Lucas. I hope that's worth the cost of membership, which it should be. That was great stuff. If I save you 5 minutes a day over the course of a year, how many minutes is that's a few minutes? That's like lunch. Actually, I just did the math. If I save you 5 minutes a day times 5 days a week, right? That's 25 minutes a week. Times, let's say, 50 weeks a year. I'll give you 2 weeks off for vacation. That's 1,250 minutes I'm saving you over the course of a year, which is minutes divided by 60. That's 20 hours. It's almost 21 hours. If I save you 5 minutes a day from not having to type in these dumb part numbers. So if your gold membership is worth 20 hours of your life every year. All right, what's a gold membership right now? $9.99. So that's $2 an hour. Okay, I'm done. That's all for, you can tell it's late and I'm tired. That's all for today, folks. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward, but I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.